Hello again. We're talking about thought and matter, and last time we discussed that matter is an important part of the life experience we're living and going through. We didn't touch every element of it because scientists are looking at all the facets that make it up. And what they come up with is correct for matter. But assuming there's a lot we haven't discussed, there is an unusual element that is amazing, and that is change. How come over periods things happen differently? Some new things come on, some others leave the scene, and who knows what is next. And the amazing thing that science tells us, and historical findings in geology, is that once there were no humans living on the planet. And now look what we have, civilization with all the advantages that humans have constructed and brought out their ingenious thought process. To me, that is the beginning of philosophy for philosophers, the beginning of life as we know it, that is vital and active and ingenious in what it implies, and it isn't finished yet. So if we could go to these who can tell us the basis of matter, that's fine. But what influence has life had, and what is life, and does it come under a bigger heading? And the best I could come up with is the word thought, but I don't mean ideas. I mean this force that brought us on, a good force, a wonderful force. And once it was subdued, but then by the conditions of matter. But then it finally broke through and life began. Yes, in amoebas and in the water oceans that they had to come about to, and land had to be taken the water off, and animals that lived our lives, predeceased us, but something in the human spirit is more important than all those that it took time to develop and bring out. Oh, how wonderful a subject this is. Philosophy then now has its reason for being different. We're not studying matter. We're not trying to understand the thinking process, but we better understand it. What I mean is there's something bigger going on, which is, to our aspect, leads to our inner self and our feelings and our emotions and our chance to be understanding. But we can be violent too. That's lower, that's more animalistic. And that's truer there, getting a little less all the time, but not much less. unfortunately. But it'll change. It's on a way of changing. So here we are at a midpoint. I won't go into the whole story of how the thought became obvious to us, because it has a prehistory too, which if you read my volumes and see all of them, especially the last ones, you will see that it started in the thoughts dimension, which I call the realm. Heaven, if you like. Unfortunately, heaven has connotations, religious connotations. Don't include those at all. They are not accurate at all. And I'm sorry to say that. I wish they were, but they're not. So thought then brought on matter. Can you believe that? And matter developed to such a point where it led over thought, and thought wasn't there. That is our violent, that is when the universe, of course, developed that way and got to the violent peak that matter brought it to. Poor thought had to take second guess and just protect itself, and it did. Nothing in matter could do to hurt it or give it a coup de grace. Oh no, thought was in waiting. Slowly matter start losing its power because it's made up of thought. How about that? And when it got to a point where thought could emerge and we became on this earth secure enough to establish ourselves and protect ourselves, although there were trying times and it was a fight uphill, and we still are fighting uphill. A little more knowledgeable now, but also look at these weapons, what they can do. They can wipe out something. But we have a universe. You can't wipe out the universe. So somewhere, even if we're destroyed, it'll pop up elsewhere. It's got to, because it's all made of the same material and tendencies. I believe we're getting kind of involved now in time. Oh, then I think we will continue at another time and get a little more specific. Okay, that's the introduction to philosophy. Thought and Matters Perspective. Thank you.